So here's the latest mock draft, and we start with a couple of trades that you have to set things up. So you have the Browns trading back from 2 to 7. They give up 2 and 179 for 7, 42, 110, and a first round pick. So need a first round pick of the Jets in 2026. Then you have the Browns trading picks 33, 94, and 200 to move up 9 spots to get pick 24 from the Vikings. Now, we'll take a look at the entirety of it, and let's talk about the first 4 in here. The tackle from Missouri that you really like. Then you have Browns taking Jackson Dart. We know they've done a lot of work with him. Quinshawn Junkins, one of those picks at 42 that they got in the trade. And then Jalen Royals, wide receiver. So tackle, all offensive, tackle, quarterback, running back, wide receiver to kind of address some of the skill position needs. Tell me what you like about those first 4, each of them.
Armand Mimbu is probably I think the most physically talented tackle in this class. I do think he needs a little bit of time. I think he's a really smart player. He moves really well. I like what he does with his hands. Some of his footwork and some things like that kind of needs cleaned up a little bit. And he's a right tackle, so in this situation, I'm not you. I think he could move to left tackle. He's got the athleticism. He's got the size. He's got the power. I think he can move to left tackle if you want to do that. I think it would be great to sit him over there behind Jack Conklin for a year or so and let him kind of mature and grow and learn from Conklin, who's kind of like a technician and really has been around and been a multi-time all pro, and set you up for as soon as Conklin leaves, calls it quits. You're pretty locked down at that right tackle spot with Armand Mimbu. Then with Jackson Dart's someone I'm lower on than kind of the consensus. I've had him lower on my board. He's quarterback 5. I think I have him 69 overall on my big board right now. And I'm a little bit lower on him just because I think I have some questions about him reading defenses and being able to make NFL decisions and diagnose defenses, because he was in an offense that was very basic and simple and kind of like very quarterback friendly. We always say it's like Lane Kiffin was holding his quarterback's hand. So I just haven't seen him go through some more complex reads and things like that. But physically, Jackson Dart has absolutely everything you want in a quarterback. He's got the size. He's a really good athlete. He's got a nice arm. It's not the biggest arm in the class, but it's up there. He will push the ball vertically. And the thing that you like the most is he mixes those two things together to escape, create. He can create with his legs. He will run. He will pick up yardage on the ground, but he is looking to throw first, and he's got the arm to be able to do that, to throw the ball on the run the way that you've got to have a little bit of extra arm strength to be able to do some of those things. And so with Jackson Dart, I think he needs time. I think he needs a year or two. He's still only 21 years old, which is, you look at the numbers. He's played 4 years in college. He started at USC and then the last 3 there at Ole Miss. And he's still only 21 years old. And it's interesting when you look at those numbers, but he just needs some time to grow and develop. But physically, he's got absolutely everything. And then when you look at Quinshawn Judkins, that's a do it all running back for me, man. Like, he added 20 pounds. Like, this is the craziest thing. He added 20 pounds from going from Old Miss to Ohio State. He was the things he was doing at Ole Miss, he was doing at like 200 pounds. And then at Ohio State, he puts on 20 pounds and he says, not only am I going to be incredibly explosive and elusive in the open field, but I'm going to steal your soul and run you over with power. And I'm just going to embarrass you. And he did that routinely with Ohio State. He reminded us at the combine just how explosive he was, because we were all, the role he was kind of regulated with Ohio State. Travion was the explosive one. He was the power back. He reminded us at the combine, I'm a 4-4 guy too. I'm a very freaky athlete at 220 pounds. Look at all these crazy things I can do. And I think putting him there, he's your running back. You feel great, fantastic. Bring Nick Chubb back. Nick Chubb, Quinshawn Judkins. With Jerome Ford, love it. Absolutely love it. Jalen Royals on the other side, the wide receiver. I just want some more speed, some more explosiveness. He's a more dynamic player, a 4-4 speed kind of guy. I just really love what Jalen Royals does with the ball in his hands in the open field. Kind of reminds me of a guy I really like earlier in the draft, Luther Burden, the Missouri wide receiver, where these are guys that you get the ball in their hands in space and you just let them do what they do and they pick up extra yardage.
Yeah, and the thing that I like, they need to address offense offensive playmakers, especially if you're going to have a young or a veteran quarterback who isn't really elite. You need some guys like Junkins, Royals, Henderson, fill in the blank. You need wide receivers and running backs that are playmakers.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And especially, we're sitting here now thinking that like you're potentially starting a guy like Carson Wentz or Joe Flacco. I know those are two names that they've been heavily connected to. And it's just like both of those guys are not, Joe Flacco's a couple years older. He's in his 40s. Carson Wentz, the last time he was a starter in Washington, it did not look good. So yeah, you're right. Find these players that can create it. I titled the mock draft Getting More Explosive in 2025. And that was all based around protecting the quarterback, opening rushing lanes for these running backs to do some things. I really love the idea of them doubling down and taking two running backs, getting like a Judkins who's like power and speed, or you can get a power back early, speed back late, or flip flop it, something of that nature, and just finding someone else that can stretch the field vertically and really help take the pressure off Jerry Jeudy. Because you got Cedric Tillman, I think, he took a step forward this year, and the David Njoku that can do some of those things. But especially if you're getting a rookie quarterback, we talked about this with Baker Mayfield. It was like, well, Baker's got to get a better offensive line because when he first got here, it wasn't that great. So we got to get him an offensive line. We got to get him weapons. And my thing is, if you're not going to take a quarterback at 2, if you're kind of concerned about this class, well, build around the position. And then whoever is in the position will have an easier job because they're able to get the ball out in space to these playmakers who can then make up for some of the deficiencies that the quarterback position has.